One of the conversations on the episode 12 clips that has stayed with me wasn't actually an argument at all. It was a confession. Someone shared that they've spent years feeling like life has been on hold, praying, waiting, trying to move forward, only to feel like every door keeps closing. And I get that intimately. It took me 2 years after I graduated college to get a job related to my degree, and by then I was a full-on drunk. I've wrestled with depression for most of my life, even when I didn't know what it was. There have been seasons where I wondered if this was just my thorn in the flesh. Then I'd immediately wonder if I was calling it that just to make excuses for my weaknesses. Maybe if I had more faith, maybe if I prayed harder, maybe if I repented more, maybe God would finally take it away. But here's what I've slowly come to realize. If every burden disappeared the moment we believed, then faith would become a transaction. Prayer would become a vending machine. Repentance would become a technique. But Christianity isn't primarily about escaping suffering. It's about becoming the kind of person who can remain faithful through it. That doesn't mean suffering is good. It doesn't mean depression is good. It doesn't mean God enjoys our pain. Jesus himself wept. Paul begged for his thorn to be removed. Job questioned. David lamented. Elijah wanted to die. The Bible doesn't hide these things. It records them. Not because despair is the goal, but because faithfulness isn't pretending everything is fine. It's continuing to seek God when it isn't fine. Now, do I know why God heals some people immediately while others wait for years? No, I don't, and I won't pretend like I do. But I do know that over time, my prayer has changed. I spent less time asking, God, why won't you take this away? And more time asking, God, what are you teaching me while I'm here? What am I supposed to do right here, right now, just for today? It doesn't remove depression. I still have very low days and experience spiritual desolation. But it changed how I handle those days. Like Ignatius Rule 6, which is what that clip was on. In times of desolation, never make a change. It slowly replaced despair with hope. Control with trust. Replace performance with grace. I still wonder why God doesn't simply remove the burdens. Why can't I just be happy? But I've also seen him use those very burdens to make me more compassionate, more patient, more dependent on him, and more able to walk beside someone who's suffering and truthfully say, I have been there. Because depression and addiction are similar in that they're extremely difficult to understand without experiencing them yourself. I still pray for healing. We should. I always will. But I've stopped believing that God's silence means absence. Sometimes the miracle isn't that the burden disappears. Sometimes the miracle is that somehow God carries us through it. The next episode that we'll be discussing and going through is episode 13. It's on depression. So we will be returning to this topic.